Hi, I'm Barbara, and I'm back to just talk a little bit more about before anybody starts anything. I wanted to talk about why I call it not for sissies. It's confusing to some because that was what we said in the old days, the very old days. We said, hey, it's not for sissies. If you're going to whine and cry and fuss, go over there because we're tough, we're going to make it work, and we're not afraid of adversity. It's not for sissies. The show that we're doing here on YouTube is a little more casual than the one I do on Voice America called Christ is Right, not for sissies. This channel, I want to be more casual and I want to be able to say what I really am feeling and understanding that's going to help get past the stuff about the whining and the fussing and the crying and why it doesn't work for you and why that doesn't work for you. I like to be able to share what does work. And in order to do that, I have to be a little like real. And I want to be able to do that. So it's like, if you're of that nature to complain about things that we can't do anything about, then it might be not for you. But for people who understand what I'm saying and it can jump to different leaps and bounds with me, we're going to go places in our mental mind that Jesus said we could when he said, you can do this and more than this shall you do. We can do those things. And I mean, don't limit yourself. Don't put limitations on anyone else so that we can really be a new part of the growth that we see in our earth coming up right now. We see the devastation, as I've mentioned before, but you're not looking at the growth everywhere. And it's beautifully intense. It's the best intenseness I've felt in quite some time because it's a beautiful intenseness that keeps developing and developing and developing. One good thought is bringing other good thoughts. So back to the not for sissies, I say it because people will jump quite often, and I don't want to use the word beginner or advanced, that's not right because Jesus said no one is the head and no one is the tail. So I go on that. But if those are capable of just jumping ahead to what I say and say, I want that too, bingo, the brain accepts it, says, okay, we're ready to fly. When you allow it to, we're ready to fly. We've just installed that. So when that notion comes in and you bring it in, going like, I want that. Some of you will need to investigate it. But again, it's very difficult to learn what is truth out there and what is not truth out there. So I ask you to use your heart. Follow me with your open heart so that you'll know the discernment in you is allowing you to take in the truth. And discernment is what you should be asking for in each prayer. Ask for discernment. And that means that you are knowing. You have the ability, without calculating, to know what is someone is telling the truth or not. And it says that in the Bible too. You pray for discernment. And so I did that years ago. I used to say, well, just give me goosebumps every time someone is lying. And I was like wanting to sweater all the time because people were not always telling the truth, give me a scarf, But instead I changed that so that when people were telling the truth, I would get a warm and good feeling about it. And then I would know that that was my discernment signal. I knew that that person was telling the truth. When you have obstacles, because they may think they're telling the truth because they got bad information. See, this is where we are today in America. People think they're repeating the truth when actually they're just repeating and they're unsure if it's the truth or not. And that's on all walks of life, unfortunately. And so we ask that. I hope that helped. Discernment. That's a real important thing that you take in for yourself so that you can stay on top of your game and make sure you stay authentic. Other people may not be, but you stay authentic in all of this. So again, if I go on in the next few shows, and I like the 10 and 15 minute little blurbs that I can do to just when I have a notion I can pop in and give it to you. We're going to try and advance the whole channel a little bit more in the next coming week and so the different videos that we put in. Isn't that right? Yes. And so in that we're going to be able to share even more. So you'll hear the audio and perhaps not have to look at me all the time. So you see the beautiful Maine nature as spring is growing in the brook. Oh, it is just fabulous here. And Jackie's going to do a lot of videoing for us and put that with my 10-minute little messages that come to me that I would like to share. It will be varied, so I'm sorry that I can't tell you what I'm going to talk about and stick to it all the time, because if it's not as important as what they want to tell you, I get lost in what I wanted to talk to you about. And I start talking about what I'm hearing, because that is what the guidance wants you to hear. And so I apologize to all those people out there, both of you, who said, I can't follow her. You know, she said she was going to talk about this, but she didn't. And that's okay, except for that's just the way I am. You should see me in real life when you get an hour of me. And so God bless you for tuning in to me. God bless us as we're being used. We're on the clock. I feel like I'm on the clock. I feel like he's my boss. I have asked for a raise from time to time and gotten it. So that was pretty surprising too. Just surprising. It's like, oh my God, I mean, I really got a raise. And it was fabulous, because he wants to give you as much as you allow yourself to take in. Honest to God. I mean, I have been blessed with so much. It's like, stop. I can't handle all of this. I feel like I'm juggling all the goodness. And my dear friend Suzanne says, you are so remarkable. I never heard anybody say stop with the good stuff. You know, but it's true. You can only handle so much. And it's beautiful when you can handle it. Right now, I hear the little thing like I used to years ago when I was really a dedicated scientist training thing, doing my work and my job. And I hear A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And that is them telling me, no matter there's a dozen things out there you have to do right now, you can only start with the one that's going to lead to the next one, that's going to lead to the next one. And so they sing to me, A, B, C. As I got it, and I relax instantly, because they're right. I can only do the first thing first, and the second thing second. And all the rest of it waits its turn. And it's remarkable, because we learn about time at that time. Because by the time you get to LM and PQ, so much has been resolved. It's not there to do anymore, because what you did back here resolved all that. Isn't life wonderful? It's a game. It's a game of life. And when we start playing it the way that he said, there's rules, you do this, I'll do that. Here's the promises, you do this, I'll do that. And it's like, wow, this is going to be so great. Let's begin. Let's start right now. Let's start with each other. It's the perfect time of year. It's the perfect timing. And we're all friends after all. We can make mistakes and cover for ourselves. We can say the wrong thing and correct ourselves, because we are saying what we thought. But because of the updated systems that we now are, updated systems, you've been updated, I've been updated, we all have. We may say, oh, I believe this, and then you go like, well, gosh, do I still believe this and that? Because you find out that no, you don't, because you've been evolved and you've been updated, and you kind of like feel this now. You're on a much higher scale, much higher level of evolution. And your mind has changed, but you're now catching up to it. Isn't this going to be fun? Please stay tuned, stay with me. I'm trying to have a good time right now. This is my fun. So I hope you don't mind if I make all these, I can see myself, my hair is a mess, but I don't care. I don't want to care about how I look. I'm so tired of caring about, you have to look this way and this way. I just want to be nice and who I am and cared for who I am. And I want you to do the same thing. So never mind my old 2-year winter sweater. It's raining out a little bit today. And hear the words that God gives us to act on, because I'm going to ask you to act on these things. Act on discernment. Act on these things and see if it doesn't serve you too. We'll do this together. Thanks a bunch. No edit buttons today. Thank you.
And it's not for sissies.
It is not for sissies. Thank you.
And I'm going to put that in